Hi everyone, and welcome to the Practice Growth with Pras podcast. I'm your host, Pras Murthy, CFO and co-founder at Dr. Multimedia, where for the last 10 years I've been helping practices grow all across the country. We started this podcast so we could dive deeper into the issues around practice growth, from online marketing to the way you run your business. We know doctors are busy people and you don't have a lot of time to study these kinds of topics, so we're hoping this audio podcast makes it really easy to stay up to date with what's going around the country. We'll be interviewing top doctors, successful practice managers, and other experts in the field. Without further ado, let's get started. So Google reviews are a huge topic these days because they show up in Google search results, they show up on your maps, and more patients are making decisions as to what practices to call first based on the reviews. We talked about this in some of our early videos, but if you didn't see those, in your map pack on Google, you often see three options. And even without knowing anything else about those options, if someone has a 3.5 star rating and someone else has a 5.0 rating, most other things being equal, we're going to call the one with a 5.0 rating first. So in a lot of ways, the Google reviews are forming our actions and our first impressions, and this is before people even see your website and learn about you and watch your videos. It's just that gut reaction. You don't want to go in with a bad impression. So we could talk for hours about the importance of Google reviews, but today we're going to look at 5 different ways to build your Google reviews and effective tips and tricks. One way to get more reviews, and the most effective way, in my opinion, is to ask. There's all these fancy tools out there that will send automated text messages or email blasts or follow-ups to surveys to try to get reviews. I've never found anything that beats just asking person to person, human to human, and making it an appeal between your staff or you and the patient. Asking at every opportunity. But the problem is you have to be consistent and you have to be relentless when it comes to asking. You want every patient that comes to your practice to be asked if they had a good experience. If not, you obviously would want to know so you could correct the issue. And if so, you want to see if they have 10 or 15 seconds to leave you a Google review. And from there, it comes to you and your staff to know how to quickly help someone get to your Google page, leave a review, and be on their way. But if you ask consistently, you will find that your Google reviews will grow every week, every month, and when you look back over the course of a year, you'll have way more reviews than you would have if you weren't asking. The biggest mistake people make, however, is they ask infrequently. So they ask people sometimes. They ask when they're not too busy at the front desk. They ask when they think it's surefire that someone's going to want to leave them a review. They hesitate to ask if they're not sure. All of those are a recipe for failure when it comes to increasing your Google reviews because no matter how many people you ask, most of them are going to say no, and that's okay. It's expected that most people that you ask will not leave a review, which is why it's so important to ask everybody, because if you ask 10 people in a day and you get one yes, that's a huge success. But if it takes you a month to ask 10 people, you're still only going to get one yes, and you're only going to grow by one review a month, which just isn't enough these days. Another great way to get Google reviews is emails. Now, there's a lot of different ways to approach this. A lot of people pay companies a lot of money, but simply put, if you're regularly sending out emails, asking your patients if they have time to leave you a review, you're gonna get more reviews. Now, you could time the email so that it's when people come in. We have some clients that send us the email list of who came in that day or that week, and then they follow that up with an email. Or you could take your entire email list and you could break it up and you could just rotate through who you send the emails out to. Or heck, if you really wanted to, you could just send it out to your entire email list and send it regularly. The thing about email is that most people don't open the emails that you send. So you're only reaching a small percentage of your email list. And the other thing about emails is the people who open any given email are going to change from one email to the next. So even if you send the same exact email 2 different times, different people are going to open it the first time than did the second time. So you can't just say, oh, I already sent that out to everybody, I don't want to do it again. You want to consistently ask via email. And in that email, you want to make sure that there's a very simple and straightforward link that takes a patient from the email itself directly to your Google page. So it has to link to your Google My Business page, it has to open up the Google listing, and then it has to make it really easy for them to just start writing and fill in the rest of the reviews. Another great way to get Google reviews is social media. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, you want to make sure that you're always soliciting reviews. And again, just like in your emails, you want to make sure to link people straight to your Google My Business page. That's the most important thing about asking for reviews online, is direct and forward links to your Google Business page that make it just a couple of taps for someone to get on Google and leave your review. If it's difficult, they're not going to do it. So on your social media, you could regularly post on your Facebook, for example. Maybe you take a success story or a great review that you got, and you share that on Facebook, and you include a link that says, hey, if you have 30 seconds, we sure would appreciate you sharing any kind words or stories you have about our practice. It would really go a long ways. You could do that on Instagram. Maybe you take a quick video of someone coming in your practice that was really happy. You post that, or if you get a video testimonial, which is the great kind of testimonial, share that. But always include links back to your Google business listing and make it easy for people to go ahead and leave you reviews. Another great way to get Google reviews is physical poster boards. I know it sounds kind of old school, especially for a digital marketing company to be talking about printed posters, but you want to have objects all around the practice that remind people about leaving reviews. Now, it could be in the waiting room, if that's where some of your patients spend a lot of time when they're bored and have their mobile phones out already. Could be in the exam or the lab rooms where you might have patients waiting. And the idea is wherever someone might be with a couple seconds to kill and their mobile phone, you can direct people to your Google business page. You could do that with a simple QR code that you just grab the phone and you hold it up to the QR code and it takes them straight to their Google My Business page and they can leave you a review. You can do, if you have any incentives that you're running or if you have any rewards for your patients, you can include that on the poster board. But the point is you can capture someone's attention just by having something up in and around your practice, and that also will stress the importance. The other hidden benefit of having physical poster boards or materials that you hand out is that it creates a physical reminder for your staff. So you've probably told your front desk over and over again that they should be asking for Google reviews. And probably the first time you tell them, they do it. And as time goes on, they do it less and less until they're not doing it at all. One of the reasons is that they get busy and they trend back to kind of how things were and they only take care of the things that they need to take care of. So if your receptionist is supposed to be asking, what better way to have a daily reminder than a poster board right in front of their face that's asking for Google reviews? And every time they see that, consciously or subconsciously, it's a reminder that they should be asking and making a big deal out of Google reviews. Because if it's important to you, you need to make it important to everybody else in your practice, your patients and your staff. One of the most effective ways, and one of probably the least used ways to get Google reviews, is incentivizing the people within your business. People always talk about incentivizing patients, and depending what state you're in, you need to be very careful about that. Different specialties and different boards have different rules when it comes to what you can do for a review. So always make sure you're aware of your local rules and regulations. But instead of incentivizing the patient, talk about incentivizing your staff. You know, you as a business owner want more Google reviews. We know that. No one says no when you ask them if they'd like more Google reviews. However, if you're only one person or two people in your entire practice that care, you're not going to have the most effective results. You need to get everybody in your practice caring about Google reviews. And the only way you can make that happen is if it matters to them, where it's not just to benefit your practice and your business, but something real needs to change in their life the more reviews you get. That's what will excite them and incentivize them to make sure they're following through. So some simple ideas. If you want to do a group incentive, how about when you get to your first 25 Google reviews, you bring in coffee for your staff. Something real simple. Maybe donuts if that's what they like. Maybe if you guys get to 50 reviews, you're going to take everyone out to lunch or have lunch brought in. When you think about the long-term value of more reviews and a really great score online, the cost of a round of coffee or a meal is going to pale in comparison. So you want to make sure you're not thinking about what this is costing you. Think about what it's costing you to not have all your happy patients leaving reviews and not have an accurate reflection of the quality of your practice online. The numbers won't even compare. So telling your staff, hey, we're going to have these team goals. Let's really focus on that this month and next month and the month after. And these are the short-term benefits that you're going to experience if we get there. Food's an easy one because it's just great social currency, and people like to have that immediate reward. Now you can do team incentives. It's also nice to do individual incentives so that you don't have certain employees doing nothing while your ambitious employees kind of do all the work to get people there. You'd like a balance of both. So how about rewarding those individual employees that are really making a great effort? So have some team incentives and then possibly have some individual incentives. All right, guys, if we get to 25, we're going out to lunch, and whoever got the most reviews, you're going to get a $25 gift card or a $50 gift card, to the restaurant of your choice, or maybe there's a business in your strip mall that they go to all the time. Reward the people that are doing the best job. If you make them care, then your entire practice is going to care, which is going to lead to more results. So having team goals, most importantly, and then having team rewards will get you more Google reviews. Every time we've tried it, it's been successful to different levels, of course, but whether it's getting one review you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, or hopefully 100, if you get your team involved, you will get more reviews. So hopefully those are some easy tips that you can use to get more Google reviews for your practice. Remember, if you want to get more reviews, it's very simple. Make sure you're always asking, make sure that you're sending emails, make sure that you're promoting it on social media, make sure you have physical poster boards or some variation of that around the practice, and make sure you're incentivizing your staff to want to get you more Google reviews. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Practice Growth with Pras. I'm your host, Pras Murthy, and if you have any questions or comments, please visit us at drmultimedia.com. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're constantly sharing new content as part of our mission to take online marketing topics and make them relevant to your practice. And if you like what you heard, please tell a friend and leave us a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Thanks so much for listening, and we can't wait to do it again.